Hey everybody, welcome to Ghost from Prepping. Thanks for joining us. When we talk about prepping, stockpiling food, water, etc., it's nice sometimes to look at somebody else's list. Reason being is, we don't think of everything, and sometimes somebody else's list can jog our memory and help us out. So we're going to go through one I found today. It's a really good list, and of course, stay to the end because there's some really good stuff on there you probably haven't thought of. From Social Buzz Hive by Emily Stanley, 20 items you will need in case of a societal collapse. Oh yeah, there we go. The first essential they list, water purification tablets or a portable filter. All right, I needed to be clear on this. When we talk about water purification tablets, those are good for one thing, and that's like biological agents in the water. For example, bacteria or giardia, single-celled organisms, stuff that'll give you stomach upset and make you want to throw up, etc. That's all it's good for. There's other things we have to worry about too, by the way, like chemicals, radiological, toxic stuff put in the water. Those tablets will do nothing for that. You need to have some kind of very small micron charcoal activated filter to filter those out. Tablets are good to have. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but that's only for like live organisms. So first thing on the list, very good. First aid kit, treat injuries and illnesses, etc., bandages, pain relievers, antibiotics, etc. Yep, of course. And right now we're going through a pharmaceutical shortage, so make sure you have stocked up on that. Not to mention any pharmaceuticals you need specifically, prescription ones. Talk to your doctor. Sometimes they'll give you like a month in advance. That way if the supply chain gets messed up a little bit, which is happening right now, by the way, they can sometimes write you a script to give you some extra ahead of time so that way you won't get left without. Non-perishable food. I always recommend canned food, canned food, canned food. It lasts indefinitely. It's already prepared. It's already warm. Sometimes you have a whole meal in the can. It is beautiful. Now, I have all kinds of videos talking about you want to make sure the can's not dented or rusted or compromised, etc. But canned food in itself, as long as that can's intact, will last for decades, not just years, but decades. There's lots of other choices too, by the way. The good old rice and beans, people have that. It takes a lot of heat to prepare them typically. Or maybe you have freeze-dried food. Not bad, but kind of expensive. But make sure you have, obviously, a lot of food on hand. A sturdy shelter. Very nice. A tent, a tarp, or even a well-built lean-to can provide crucial protection. Absolutely, of course. I always say have a tent. And make sure you watch the brand name, by the way. I even modeled a tent, the cheapest one on Amazon, which there's a reason it was the cheapest one. Obviously, it was made for very short people. I would not be able to fit it myself, and I'm not a super tall guy. I like Coleman tents personally, but make sure you have something like that. And it's not even just a matter of having it so if you go outside, but if your heat goes out in your house for a couple of days, having a tent inside your living room with like an air mattress can keep you much warmer than simply just trying to keep warm in the house overall. Tools and utilities, a multi-tool, pocket knife, I always talk about those. Headlamps, flashlights, absolutely. Crank flashlights, I have some squeeze ones, some headlamps, always a good thing. But one of the things I love, by the way, is my rechargeable flashlights. They are super, super mega bright. And what's nice is they can be charged by USB. And since I have a solar generator, a few of them, I can keep them charged up instead of always scouring for batteries, which, you know what? If we're talking about long-term problems, batteries are going to disappear. A compass and maps. Navigate without GPS. There's a reason for that. Because there's an excellent chance GPS will go bye-bye. An EMP, the government can turn it off, etc. Compass and maps. All you have to do is go down to your local visitors bureau. Any place you want to even possibly bug out to, go to their visitors bureau or rest stops, and you can find as many free maps as you like. Get a compass, they're really easy to use, and have that ready. Fire starters, very nice. Matches, lighters, flint and steel, or lighters, and more lighters, and matches too. I'm all about lighters, by the way, and I often go at Walmart, I pick up this giant pack, it's like 7 or 8 lighters. I think they're big when you go through the checkout lane for a really good price. I like to make fire starters. Personally, I use some of the recycled cardboard egg cartons and put some lint in it and dip it in wax. They do really well in starting fires. But you can actually buy a lot of fire starters pre-made at your local store. Durable rope, paracord, gotta have a paracord. Communication and information, like a battery-powered radio, crank radio. It looks like the Queen approves on this one. Yep, and I've got lots of these guys. In fact, it's really funny. One of my daughters lately has been wanting to listen to the radio, so she's been borrowing this and using it all the time in our living room, and it's nice. It kind of reminds me of the old days where you didn't have these hi-fi, super amazing sounding sound systems, but just like a little background music, which is good, by the way. Not simply just for news and weather, but having this so you can actually have a little bit of entertainment or music will calm nerves. For all this stuff, by the way, everything on the list I'll link below in case you want to pick some up. But I definitely recommend having at least one of these radios, and of course there's crank and solar and everything too to be able to keep you going. For community morale, which is funny, they put first aid, personal items, survival manuals. which obviously I completely agree. I just don't know why they put it under community and morale. But having books and books and books, I'm a book nerd anyway. I love books and reference manuals. Try to stock up as many as you can because just like GPS, the internet may not be around either. Or books and games. Oh yeah, for sure. Not to mention playing cards. This is so essential and should not be overlooked. Even in the military and the combat areas, we would always have like a deck of cards or something to play to keep our minds going. You have to have that entertainment, that release to be able to just kind of relax a little bit. Even Monopoly, by the way, I don't know if you know this, was actually brought out and invented during the Great Depression to give people something to do and, of course, make it feel like you have a lot of money if you happen to be the winner of the game. Defense and protection, sturdy clothing, camping gear, and footwear. This list of just this equipment could be a mile long. There's so much different type of camping gear you could get. And of course, all I can say is watch some of our other videos as I go through a lot of the stuff that you should have on hand. Personal protection equipment, things like masks, goggles, gloves, etc. For sure, have a few different types. Have some insulated for the winter, some leather gloves for working, some neoprene gloves that actually have the knuckle things on there for protection, lots of different gloves and such to choose from. A sewing kit to repair clothes and equipment, pet items to keep them alive too. They're part of your family. Bartering items, tools, etc. And I recommend having lots of different types, a wide variety of bartering items. But my favorite one by far are gold backs. They are our sponsor along with Alpine Gold too. And there's all kinds of different types of denominations of actual real gold in basically denominational levels. So you can barter with these. These are my favorite. And finally, seeds. Rebuilding agriculture, absolutely. Get lots and lots of seeds, but only the things you like to eat. That is the key. Anyways, a whole bunch of items. Not a bad list, by the way. They were able to narrow down a lot of stuff for us. What would you add to that? Put it in the comments below. So many things, obviously, we could, but I'd like to see what's on your mind. And as always, thanks for joining us.